Right now, sunny skies and 70 degrees. Look at this picture-perfect start to your weekend. Chris is tracking how long this gorgeous weather will last and the change on its way. Look up, it can wait. The emotional message from a local mother after she, her daughter, and her husband were involved in a serious car crash.
We get, all of this that not the other states get, so we might as well eat it up while we can.
Plus, the 2020 presidential hopefuls are paying extra attention to Iowa this weekend as they head to the state fair where food, handshakes, and politics are all on the menu.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Keeley has the weekend off. I'm Christina Laurie. Meteorologist Chris Reese here as well. She didn't ask us to tag along.
That's okay.
We're bummed about it.
That's okay. She deserved it.
She did. With that broken arm, she deserved it.
With the broken arm. Although you have an injury yourself, I hear.
I do. We're dropping like flies on the morning show. I broke my ankle, so luckily
right.
You don't need your ankle to read the news, all right?
Well, I will wrap myself up in a bubble and just try to stay safe.
Please, we need you.
I know. I was like, and then I'm going on a trip this upcoming week.
Yeah, please stay safe.
Yes, I will be staying very safe. But hey, here's how the weather's playing out for us as we go through this morning. Folks, there's some sunshine out there along with some cloud cover. It's the mix of the two tails. But temperatures are already into the mid-60s, 64 right now. You look around, southern Wisconsin and Milwaukee has already made it towards 72, Kenosha at 68. But most of us are seeing those temperatures into the 60s at this point. There were some wannabe showers, if you will, earlier towards the south and west. Just as expected, those have run into the somewhat dry air. So those have fallen apart. What we're paying attention to, though, is overall the system that's going to be diving out of the north and west. That will arrive later on this afternoon and evening, bringing with it some chances for at least some showers. I don't know about thunderstorms, but at least some showers, especially as we move into the overnight hours. In fact, here's Future Track just showing that as it begins to approach. And notice that this is 1 o'clock in the morning that most of that rain starts to work its way on in here. So in the meantime, we're just going to stay mostly cloudy. We'll be at 75 by lunch, topping out right around 79 today. Then we turn our attention to Monday. Already there's a slight risk for excessive rainfall. Folks, I am keeping an eye on what could be a very heavy rainfall maker come Monday into Tuesday.
Let's forget about the rain right now. It's going to be a beautiful morning for the farmers market. That's the only downside of this broken ankle. I won't be able to
You can't go to the farmers market. Someone carry Christina so she can go to the farmers market.
Carry my spicy cheese bread for me, please.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we'll see if we can get some sunshine for next weekend, too. And maybe your ankle will feel a little bit better by then, but it's going to take a minute.
They kind of gave me a couple weeks.
I know.
I'd rather have you as my doctor, though.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Reese.
Yes, my pleasure.
Well, new this morning, almost all of the 2020 Democratic presidential hopefuls are just one state away this weekend in Iowa for the annual state fair. Voters in Iowa are the first to cast their ballots less than 6 months from now. And everyone from Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders to Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris are crisscrossing the caucus state this weekend. Some are stepping up to the mic at the fair's political soapbox, a tradition there. Candidates know the stakes are high in Iowa. In contested races since 1972, the winner of the Iowa Democratic caucuses has gone on to win the party's presidential nomination 7 out of 9 times.
The people will make that decision based on that personal contact. They want to have, that tactile. I've touched your hand. I've listened to you 3, 4, 5 times before I make my decision.
Nearly all the Democratic candidates are in Iowa, as we mentioned, but former Representative Beto O'Rourke canceled his plans to come to the state to stay in his hometown of El Paso after last weekend's mass shooting. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump is spending the weekend at his Bedminster home after explaining without details how he plans to keep guns out of the wrong hands.
You have to have meaningful background checks. I talk it about meaningful. Add that word, meaningful background checks.
This week, the president had several phone calls with the NRA's CEO, who has said repeatedly his organization will not support stronger background checks. Friday, President Trump said that he doesn't care what his words mean politically, adding, quote, he doesn't want to have crazy people having guns. More local news now. Madison's police union is calling Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway's comments problematic following a blog she posted Tuesday about the actions taken by a police officer while responding to a mental health call for a 17-year-old African-American back in June. Video shows the incident under investigation for reports of an officer using excessive force while responding to a mental health call. The mayor says the officer's actions are not considered best practice here in Madison. In response, the Madison Professional Police Officers Association wrote a letter to the mayor.
The issue at hand is the commentary and how it impacts officers and their safety. You know, the subject matter of getting out in front of an investigation before it's closed, that's problematic.
Deputy Mayor Cameron McClay says the blog was not intended to call out an individual officer and doesn't think the blog will interfere with the investigation. Both Powers and the mayor's office say they will collaborate over expectations for the police force's role in helping the mental health community moving forward. Keep an eye out this weekend for counterfeit $20 bills. That's the latest warning from police, who are currently investigating 2 cases where counterfeit bills were passed at Madison area businesses. They were used at a coffee shop and a grocery store in town, according to a tweet by the police department. You can see the word replica written in the bottom right-hand corner of those bills. Police in Rock County say they're looking for the person or people responsible for a string of car thefts in the northwest corner of the county. Thursday morning, 5 cars in a rural 4-mile radius were reported stolen. Officers tracked down 2 of those cars, but they say a string of crime like this is very uncommon.
We've never had a shift or any particular time frame like this where we had so many vehicles stolen. It's completely unique. First time.
You can find descriptions of all the vehicles that are still missing up on our website, channel3000.com. A Janesville area woman has a message she hopes other drivers will take to heart after her husband, and their daughter were in a car crash. This is Olivia, Bill, and their 7-month-old daughter, Alexandria. And this is their car after a driver distracted by his phone blew a stop sign and hit them at State Road 213 and County Road A, according to a Rock County crash report. The baby was unharmed, but Olivia has several bruises and a broken hand, and her husband had to be airlifted to UW Hospital and is still in recovery, hoping to walk again by Christmas. Now, nearly 3 weeks later, Olivia has written an open note to the driver and hopes everyone on the road will listen.
The text message can wait. The Snapchat stories can wait. Nobody really cares what you're listening to on the radio and putting on your Snapchat. There's people's lives at stake. You know, this little girl was in the back seat of that truck. And this person thought that whatever was on their phone was more important.
The driver, who authorities say caused the crash, is due in court later this month for failing to stop and inattentive driving. A family friend set up a GoFundMe page to help the family cover their medical costs. We have a link to that in the web story up on channel3000.com. The driver that killed the wife and daughter of UW basketball assistant coach Howard Moore had a blood alcohol content more than 2.5 times the legal limit. In May, 23-year-old Samantha Winchester of Ann Arbor crashed into Moore's vehicle head-on. According to medical examiner reports that were obtained by the Detroit News, Winchester had a blood alcohol content level of 0.207. Winchester also died at the scene. Howard Moore and his son survived. New information this morning shows just how hot of a summer it's been, even if that heat hasn't been felt here in Madison all the time. According to the World Meteorological Organization, July 2019 is now in the running to be the hottest month ever. The data shows that July was on par with and possibly marginally warmer than the previous warmest July, which happened back in 2016. Happening today, if you missed Sunflower Days at the Pope Farm Conservancy, you still have time to get your flower fix. Euster's Farm in Stoughton is hosting its Sunflower Days this weekend. Any day from 10 until 5, you can check out more than 20 acres and 32 different varieties of sunflowers. The petting zoo will also be open. Admission is $7. Sunflower Days runs through tomorrow. We're in the middle of moving season on the UW campus, and that means this weekend you'll start seeing unwanted furniture, clothes, and who knows what else piling up along Madison curbs. Us Madisonians affectionately refer to this time of year as hippie Christmas, but for the Madison Streets Division, it's one of their busiest and most frustrating times of the year. While dumpster diving diehards sift through students' trash to find their own treasures, moving days routinely put 1 million pounds of material into local landfills. That's why the Madison Streets Division is out with a reminder and a request, asking you to donate any items in good condition and bring old electronics to its center on Badger Road.
Every little bit helps because this is a super stressful time for everybody down there because these are this narrow streets with lots of traffic, lots of parked cars. Our vehicles are down there too. The neater the piles, the faster we can pick that stuff up and get out of everybody's way.
If you have any questions about what can get recycled or go to a charity for a donation, head to our website. If it wasn't an ugly win for the Brewers, it was definitely a weird one, but a win nonetheless, keeping the team in position for the second National League wild card. Still no Christian Yelich, the reigning NL MVP, out for his third straight game after feeling something not right with his back again. But the team did okay without him, with Ryan Braun and Lorenzo Cain helping the team take an early 1-0 lead. The Rangers evened it out in the fourth, then again in the sixth, but it was ultimately Eric Thames who hit a walk-off homer in the bottom of the ninth to secure that 6-5 win over the Rangers at Miller Park. The Brewers now have a 4-game winning streak, which they'll hope to keep alive tonight. First pitch at 6:10. And some good news for the Badgers this weekend, especially Xander Newville. The NCAA granted Newville a 6th year of eligibility so he can play football again. The tight end only played in 3 games last season because of a right leg injury, and then he tore his ACL in his right knee in practice back in October. Then in the season before that, in 2017, he tore his ACL in his left knee. So needless to say, staying healthy will be a must, especially because the Badgers are in need of some veteran experience at tight end this year. Time now, 8:11. Wisconsin has a new cheese champion. Find out who took home the top prize at this year's state fair. And from the fair to the farmers market, you'll want to get outside and take advantage of this gorgeous weather. Chris is tracking the change on its way in his full forecast just ahead.
Happy Saturday, folks. We've made it to the weekend, and things are going to be starting off on a nice note for us. We've got a little bit of sunshine out here. There's also some cloud cover. This is all somewhat the influence of the high pressure that's been in control of our area for the past couple of days. But we are watching a region of low pressure across the high plains right now. That's going to be adding a chance for some showers and thunderstorms to our weather. In the meantime, this is a live look from the station camera. Of course, it's nice out there, but earlier today in some spots, there was a threat of some drizzle trying to come down. That was mainly west of Madison. That ran into the somewhat drier air that we have in place, and a lot of that has fallen apart. But you notice the showers and thunderstorms that we do see just back towards the north and west. That's what's all going to be moving our direction in time, and thus increasing our chance for some showers late this evening and mainly into the overnight hours. So in the meantime, enjoy the sunshine and the dry weather that's out there right now. Temperatures are in the mid-60s. Dew points are into the low 60s at this point. 64 is our temperature in Madison, 68 for our friends down in Monroe. Milwaukee at 72, but generally most of us do see those temperatures into the low and mid 60s. Those dew points are also into the low and mid 60s. So you're going to notice that today it's just a little bit more humid, especially as that moisture content begins to increase in the atmosphere as winds try to come in out of the south. We'll see those highs right around 79, and then pay attention to the overnight hours. This is 1 o'clock. This is when that threat for some showers and thunderstorms will move on through. By sunrise tomorrow, I think we'll see some lingering showers, but the clouds will begin to break up as we try to dry things out into the afternoon and look for highs right around 80. We'll see some mix of sun and clouds as we head into Monday, but we're watching Monday afternoon in particular as a very heavy rainmaker has the potential to work its way through southern Wisconsin. While severe weather is not expected, just the overall amount of water that could come out of this system is something to certainly watch. We could see a couple inches of rainfall out of that, and given the anticipation, there's already a slight risk for excessive rainfall as we go into Monday. That'll be something to watch for. Perhaps some localized high water issues could be a thing. So stay tuned to the forecast through the weekend as we pay attention to that. In the meantime, again, this afternoon, perhaps some spotty showers towards the west. Otherwise, most folks are going to be dry, but variably cloudy. Look for those highs right around 79 degrees. We go through the next 10 days. Once we get through Monday, we'll actually dry out somewhat with some sunshine for the middle and end of the week before perhaps another rain chance as we approach next weekend. Christina.
Not bad for August.
No, not at all. And those temperatures will be fairly comfortable as well.
Thank you so much, Chris.
My pleasure.
Well, we now know who earned the title of top cheese at the Wisconsin State Fair. Sartori Cheese is the Wisconsin State Fair's 2019 Grand Master Cheesemaker. The fourth-generation family-owned company is based out of Plymouth, Wisconsin. Their rosemary and olive oil Asiago earned this year's award, topping nearly 500 other entries. And while the Wisconsin State Fair continues, the Iowa State Fair is just kicking off. And of course, that means butter sculptures. This year, sculptors are paying tribute to Sesame Street's 50th anniversary. Butter sculptor Sarah Pratt is creating 5 characters from the show, including Big Bird, who you see there. Well, the time now is 8:17. The summer of Keanu continues. The biggest names at late night are joining forces for a special show, and Disney is remaking several films you've probably seen dozens of times. Plus, there are several movies you won't want to miss this weekend. Will shares his 3 things to watch just ahead in trending news on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. Welcome back. Let's take a look at what's trending this morning. The Matrix is about to celebrate its 20th anniversary with a technologically enhanced re-release. The sci-fi thriller stars Keanu Reeves as Neo, a computer hacker who finds out the world as he knows it is a computer simulation called The Matrix. The movie will play in 135 select theaters across the country for 1 week, starting on August 30th. This is far from the first time Reeves has graced the big screen this summer. He's also appeared in the third John Wick film, the rom-com Always Be My Maybe, and is the voice of Duke Kaboom in Toy Story 4. Some of the biggest names in late night will share a stage at this year's New York Comedy Festival. Stephen Colbert, Trevor Noah, and Bill Maher are among the comedians set to headline the fest. In all, more than 200 comedians, late-night hosts, and other stars will bring their jokes to 100 shows throughout the week-long event. That kicks off November 4th, and tickets go on sale this week. Oscar winner Lupita Nyong'o has a unique new role narrating a new series on the Discovery Channel called Serengeti. The 6-part series takes viewers to the nearly untouched plains of Tanzania, following lions, zebras, and cheetahs in their natural habitats over the course of a year. Nyong'o herself is from Africa. You can watch the new series every Sunday night at 7 o'clock starting tomorrow for the next 6 weeks. And Disney says it's remaking the 1990s classic Christmas film Home Alone as part of its long-awaited streaming service. Other planned remakes include Night at the Museum, Cheaper by the Dozen, and Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I'm not sure that one was old enough to remake. The Disney Plus streaming service will launch this November. It will be the exclusive home of Marvel, Star Wars, Disney Animation, and Pixar films, and a subscription will cost $6.99 a month, about half the price of a standard Netflix subscription nowadays. A new season, new to home video, and a newsworthy anniversary top Will Loper's picks this weekend. Here's his 3 things to watch.
So you're a talking Pikachu with no memories who's addicted to caffeine.
I could stop whenever I want.
New on home video this week is Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Look, you can talk to humans, I can talk to Pokemon. And if you want to find your pops, we're gonna need each other.
No, I don't need a Pokemon.
What about a world-class detective?
Ryan Reynolds voices the Pokemon who helps a teen boy find his father and uncover a conspiracy. Pokemon Detective Pikachu is available to rent or buy everywhere now. Newly streaming on Netflix this week is the 3rd season of Glow.
I would like to extend Glow's contract until the end of the year.
It's stuck.
The gorgeous ladies of wrestling take on Las Vegas, but discover that Sin City might be more work than they anticipated.
This is everything we've ever wanted.
We can't grow in bear for another 9 months.
I'm the only one who cares about keeping the show alive.
All 10 episodes of Glow are available to stream on Netflix now.
I'm Julia Child. Bon appetit.
Finally this week marks the 10-year release of 2009's Julie and Julia.
Before she changed the world, Julia Child was just an American living in France.
Shouldn't I find something to do?
What is it that you really like to do?
Eat.
And you're so good at it. Look at you. Now,
They're
how
growing
good
in
you are.
front of you.
Amy Adams stars as an amateur chef, cooking every recipe in a cookbook by Julia Child, played by Meryl Streep.
What if I don't make my deadline? I'll wasted a whole year of my life. I used to be thin and now I'm fat.
Just your face.
It's supposed to be a big adventure, but it just turns out to be a lot of meltdowns.
Yeah, there's all of this stuff on the floor.
Oh, never apologize.
Julie and Julia is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
You have no real talent for cooking.
Happy watching. Those are the 3 things you need to watch. And this is Will Loper for News 3 Now this morning.
Thank you, Will. And there's much more news ahead on News 3 Now. Next, we're taking a look at the morning's top stories. And then, as students soak in the last few weeks of summer, it's planning time for parents. So they get ready to send their kids off to school with brain-fueling foods. Nutritionist Emmy Bodden shares some simple ideas anyone can make and any kid will love. Next on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. Right now, simple snack ideas that take just minutes to make will help get you ready for a new school year or a new week at work.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Happy Saturday morning. It is August 10th. I'm Christina Laurie. We'll get a check of your first alert forecast with Chris in just a second. But first, here are 3 things to know before you head out the door this morning. Almost all of the 2020 Democratic presidential hopefuls are just one state away this weekend in Iowa for the annual state fair. With the first in the nation Iowa caucuses now less than 6 months away, everyone from Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders to Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris are crisscrossing the caucus state and taking turns at the mic at the fair's political soapbox. Candidates know the stakes are high in Iowa. In contested races since 1972, the winner of the Iowa Democratic caucuses has gone on to win the party's presidential nomination 7 out of 9 times. Keep an eye out this weekend for counterfeit $20 bills. That's the latest warning from Madison police, who are currently investigating 2 cases where counterfeit bills were passed at local businesses. They were used at a coffee shop and a grocery store here in Madison, according to a tweet by the local police department. You can see the word replica written on the bottom right-hand corner of the bills, so police are reminding business owners to take extra precaution. And the Brewers extended their winning streak to 4 games overnight after beating the Rangers 6-5. After lots of back and forth and no Yelich, it was ultimately Eric Thames who hit a walk-off homer in the bottom of the 9th to secure a 6-5 win over the Rangers at Miller Park. The Brewers are still in position for the second National League wildcard spot. First pitch tonight is at 6:10. Now let's throw it over to meteorologist Chris Reese with your Saturday forecast. Hi, Chris.
Good morning, Christina. Good morning to all of you. Of course, things are starting out on a very nice note for us here in town, but we're going to be watching for a rain chance that tries to move in later on this afternoon and evening. In the meantime, 64 degrees is our temperature, and a lot of us are seeing those temperatures that are into the 60s. Mineral Point at 68 right now, 67 as you work your way down towards Platteville, Boscobel, and Viroqua, both at 65. Now, we had some areas earlier where some showers and thunderstorms, or, well, just showers and drizzle mainly, tried to work their way into western Wisconsin, but the air is still fairly dry. So those have fallen apart, but we're still watching this area of shower activity back towards the north and west. That is the complex that will eventually begin to move its way our direction, thus increasing our chances for seeing some showers and thunderstorms later on this afternoon and evening. But I think most of that's going to be in the overnight hours. Here's Future Track just showing you when the round of the showers will be at their peak, and that's going to be overnight going towards tomorrow morning. So as you plan today, we should be dry. Yes, we're going to be mostly cloudy with the clouds really starting to increase towards the afternoon, but the temperatures will be nice. 75 by lunch, 79 for your highs later on. But once we get through this rain chance, folks, what we're going to be watching is Monday, as a heavy rainmaker could come through. Already a slight risk for excessive rainfall for the start of next week. Of course, I'll be giving you guys more information on that coming up in Maine Weather.
Thank you, Chris. Well, there are just a few weekends of summer left, so we're getting your family ready to head back to school with some simple snack ideas. And for that, we caught up with our nutritionist, Emmy, earlier this week. Well, it's almost the start of a new school year. For kids, that means new teachers, new classes, and for parents, that means new lunch and snack ideas. Nutritionist Emmy Bodden is back with us this morning with some recipe ideas that any parent can make and every kid will love, right?
Exactly, yep.
So why is this especially important nowadays?
Yeah, so according to the American Heart Association, 1 in every 3 kids or teens is either obese or overweight. So it's really important that we're focusing on healthy options, really nutritiously dense snacks and meals for our kids, both at home and at school.
And it doesn't have to be hard to do. You brought some examples. Is this stuff that people usually have at home, or where do they get it?
I think so. I think these are foods that you might already have at home, or they're really easy to find. A lot of them aren't that expensive either, so they can double up as snacks for your kids and for you to bring to work too. So just take a little bit of the effort and the planning out of all of your meal prep.
So can we walk through what we have?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
So we're gonna start over here. Yep. Yeah, so an easy yogurt parfait. I love these for eating at home, doing like an after-school yogurt parfait bar where kids are putting in their own fruit, their own yogurt, their own granola. I have some unsweetened muesli here. And when you get kids involved in the planning, they may be more likely to want to, make their own healthy snacks or get more educated about what nutritious eating is.
What is muesli? You said that's like this granola-like?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of a mixture of granola and oatmeal. So it's unsweetened, you eat it raw. Kids may or may not like that, so a low sugar granola would be a good option if they don't like the muesli. But what I love about this is that I've used frozen berries and I let them defrost in the jar so they get, you know, a little bit goopy, a little bit mushy, and you mix that with plain unsweetened yogurt. So a lot of flavored yogurts have so much added sugar. So when you mix them with the defrosted berries, it gives it natural sweetness and a natural flavor, plus a really bright color that kids might go for.
And that's also pretty cost conscious because frozen berries, they'll always be in season too, so you don't have to worry about that as the temperature changes.
Yeah,
it's not going to be summer forever.
Right.
Okay, what do we have here?
So this is a Greek yogurt ranch dip. So again, a good way to stay mindful of your time and your budget. If you're already buying yogurt for the parfait, you might as well try to make something else with it. So this is all the flavors of ranch dip, but with unsweetened plain Greek yogurt. So you have garlic, onions, chives, all the good stuff. And because little kids especially love to dip their food, why not make it something super nutritious that's going to give them energy and fuel to be able to concentrate at school and have the energy to learn.
And about how long did this dip take you to make?
Less than 5 minutes. Just put all the ingredients in my blender and I was good to go.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
What about these?
So these are some oatmeal bake muffins. Super easy. It's like you're making oatmeal and you just bake them in muffin tins. And the reason why I like something like this for kids is that it's a good opportunity to sneak in some veggies into their meal without them even knowing. So I just have fruit in these, but things like zucchini, carrots, and stay with me on this one, but frozen riced cauliflower actually works really well in muffins, and I promise you can't taste it, and the kids are getting a whole serving of antioxidant-rich cruciferous veggies.
I can buy that after the number of cauliflower pizzas where you don't know that it's cauliflower.
They're everywhere now.
Finally.
Yeah, so this
something sweet?
Yeah, something sweet, and this is one of my favorites. So not just for the kids. None of these are just for kids, but this is one of my favorite snacks. It's a chickpea cookie dough dip. So again, kids love to dip. Why not use that when you're making a healthy snack? So instead of a sugar-loaded, raw egg-loaded cookie dough, this one is made with chickpeas, peanut butter, flax seeds, some maple syrup, and then some chocolate chips to give that nice little bit of sweetness. And I dip it with whole grain pretzels, with fruit. Honestly, I eat it sometimes just like that. And you can put it in a little jar, bring it to work, send it to school with your kids, or have as a sweet after-school snack.
And do you blend it, or do you just hand mix?
Yeah, so I blended it. I did it in a food processor, but if you have a high-powered blender, you could do it in there too.
And we could spill the little secret. We already had people walking through the newsroom and taking samples, so we can vouch that it really is
It's actually
delicious.
good, yeah. And the reason why I like something like this and something like this that has whole grains, a lot of fiber, is that a lot of snacks for kids right now are just loaded in sugar. They just cause a huge blood sugar spike and a crash, so kids aren't able to focus in school and perform better. We know that kids perform better mentally in school with a more nutritious meal or snack that they're having throughout their day. So these are really good alternative options for that.
And I think the bottom line here is that all the food, it is what it is. It's not a long ingredient list.
Right.
You look at it, it's an apple, peanut butter, maple syrup, all fresh.
Yeah, and so, you know, easy to just keep around in your cupboard. I mean, these are canned garbanzo beans. These are oats. These are just veggies that, I mean, I saved a little bit of time and bought the pre-chopped, and there's nothing wrong with that when you're a busy parent and just want to take, you know, some time for yourself. Greek yogurt, again, frozen berries. So everything you can either keep as a pantry staple or, you know, find a deal at your local grocery store with, and it all isn't very time-consuming either.
Thank you so much. You're always making it easy for us, Emmy.
I try.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
More local news now. The State Department of Health Services says doctors in Wisconsin have confirmed new cases of lung disease tied to vaping. Health officials have now confirmed a total of 12 cases and are investigating 13 others. The new cases include those who vaped marijuana oils, extracts, or concentrates. Patients with confirmed cases range in age from their teens to 30 years old. Community members are invited to help Madison students head back to school with all the supplies they need. The Dominic's Ripple fundraiser is supporting several school supply drives throughout the month. The charity fund was created to remember Dominic May, a 5-year-old Madison boy who was killed in a crash last year. There are several drop-off stations, or you can sign up to sponsor a student. We have information regarding how to do both on channel3000.com. Just type supply drive in the search bar. Time now, 8:38. If you're looking for something to do in town this weekend, from a tale as old as time to a brand new music festival, plus the return of Restaurant Week, this time spotlighting Black business owners, some who've had a tough year. We're taking a look at everything happening around town in your Weekend 608. That's next on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. It's the weekend in the 608.
Hey, here's a look at what's happening in the Madison area.
Do you want to start with the song, Tale as Old as Time? Should we sing it?
Sure.
Tale as old as time.
Okay.
We just lost like about a dozen viewers there. The Middleton Players Theater is putting on a big costumed production of Disney's Beauty and the Beast with people who can actually sing, with shows all weekend long at the Middleton Performing Arts Center. It's the story of young Belle trying to tame and transform the Beast back into the prince he once was. There are shows at 2 and 7:30 today, and again at 2 tomorrow.
All right, and from a tale as old as time to something new. You know, this makes me think of High School Musical at the moment. But anyways, head to the Madison
I can sing that one too.
New Music Festival this weekend. And what you're going to hear is classical music written in our lifetimes. Now, this is the 4th year for the event, which features more than 60 musicians. Several new songs will make their world premiere tonight at 7:30. And then tomorrow, you can enjoy a free concert at the Terrace starting at 5.
We're only not singing those because they're new, so we don't know them yet.
Yes,
but
we're
maybe
all
tomorrow.
in this together.
Once we know that we are. And if you missed last month's Summer Restaurant Week weather, you're in luck. The 4th annual Black Restaurant Week starts tomorrow. This year's week has extra meaning for Black business owners after 2 Black-owned businesses closed on Willie Street alone earlier this year. In total, 7 restaurants, 9 food carts, and 3 dessert shops are participating. You can take advantage of the deals for a full 8 days starting tomorrow. Again, they start tomorrow, running through next Sunday.
Sounds delicious. And as always, you can get this month's copy of Madison Magazine for all of the best in the Madison area.
And whatever you choose to do this weekend, you'll want to make sure some of it's outside.
That's right. That's the chance before more rainfall rolls in. You're looking live over the Capitol. I'll have your full forecast next on News 3 Now.
But first, if you have a little kid turning 3 soon, please let us know so we can show their picture on TV.
We've had some sunshine this week along with some very pleasant weather. That's all been thanks to this area of high pressure that's been in control over the Great Lakes, but it's getting ready to take a little bit of a move towards the south and east, allowing way for this region of low pressure to move closer towards south central Wisconsin. And folks, that does mean more rain chances will be on the way. So in the meantime, get outside and enjoy the nice weather that we have out there, some blue sky. This is looking west, which oddly enough, towards the west is where we did see some cloud cover earlier on, along with some areas that tried to become some showers, but the air is relatively dry, so a lot of that didn't make it towards the ground. But as we zoom out, pay attention to southeastern Minnesota, northeastern Iowa. That is where some showers exist right now, and all of those are going to be working towards us as we go throughout the day. So pay attention to the northwestern sky, especially later on this evening and into the nighttime hours. Temperature-wise right now, though, things are comfortable, 64 degrees, a mix of sun and clouds, very little wind out there, but dew points are into the 60s. So you're going to begin to notice just a little bit more in the way of some humidity as we go through the afternoon. Mineral Point at 68. Our friends in Monroe have made it towards 72. Janesville has made it to 70, and I think all of us are getting very close to that 70-degree mark. But the dew points remain into the 60s as well. So you're going to notice that, yes, it's very humid as we go into the afternoon and evening. But let's time it out. 79 for your high this afternoon. We'll start to cool off later on into the 60s, 1 o'clock in the morning. Pay attention to what's arriving from the west. This is where we could see that shower and thunderstorm activity overnight. By the time the sun comes up tomorrow, a lot of it starts to begin to move on out of here, but we'll still see some lingering shower activity. And then I think we'll dry out by tomorrow afternoon. Look for those highs right around 80 degrees once again. The mix of sun and clouds continues into Monday, but what also happens as we move into Monday is a heavy rainmaker begins to arrive from the south and west. And this could bring perhaps a couple inches of rain in a very short amount of time, perhaps maybe 1 to locally 3 inches of rain as we go through Monday afternoon. And so because of that, we do have a slight risk of excessive rainfall throughout southern Wisconsin into northern and central Illinois. So that's going to be the focus of the forecast going through the weekend. It's fine-tuning the details and what we can expect on Monday. It's not an alert day right now, but we are discussing that among the weather team as to making Monday an alert day or not. But by the time we get you towards Tuesday night, Wednesday and Thursday, that will be the pick 3 days of our forecast before perhaps some additional rain chances by next weekend.
The only bummer is when those beautiful days happen in the middle of the week.
That's my weekend, so I don't know about you, but it's fine.
Oh,
I know.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'm messing with you, though.
Well, bye. It's actually it is your actual weekend.
It is. Wait, is it not your weekend? I thought it was your weekend. Okay, well.
If you can schedule a good Monday and Tuesday, that'd be great.
I'll work on that if I can.
Thanks, Chris.
My pleasure.
Well, nearly a week after the mass shooting in Dayton, Ohio, 2 Ohio boys are on a mission to inspire some good. 9 people were shot and killed, so the boys are challenging others to do 9 acts of kindness for 9 days. Javon and Mason are spreading hope and joy throughout their state with the hashtag Dayton Challenge, and the 2 boys are leading by example, going to a local McDonald's and putting $5 towards the meal of the person behind them.
The right thing to do. You always have to be kind to each other, and that's what makes the world great.
Support for those 9 lives can be seen in many other ways in the form of an ever-growing memorial or a tragedy fund for the victims' families. Well, be sure to stick with News 3 Now all day long, and then tomorrow morning we are heading to Willie Street for a stomach-rumbling experience at La Kitchenette. Find out what makes this eatery, which you've probably driven past dozens of times, so unique. But first, meet the pair of middle school baking brothers whipping up tasty treats while doing a whole lot of good. How they're using their own business to give back to people in need. This feel-good story next on News 3 Now this morning, Saturday. Finally this morning, we want to introduce you to a pair of brothers who are only in middle school yet own their own business, so they're better than us. Now they're getting attention for not only what they're whipping up, but how they are giving back.
Omar Villagranza introduces us to the duo behind these recipes.
When Nigel and Shane Mushambi are in the game room,
Oh, there's a guy behind you. There's a guy behind you.
they're typical 12 and 13-year-olds. But when they step into the kitchen, they're a talented team of bakers.
He's probably the better baker. I'm probably the better icing man. Yeah, it's not really a baker. It's just he's better at decorating. I'm better at baking, and I'm better at making new recipes. So it's basically rolls.
The pair started a baking business called Two Brothers in the Kitchen, a passion they've shared since they were toddlers. Many of their recipes come from who else? Grandma.
What is it about Grandma's recipes that make it so much better?
Longest amount of time they have a lot of free time. That means they have a lot of time to perfect their recipe.
Is it the ingredients? Is it the timing? What makes it
It's
good?
just they know everything.
Their business is growing so fast, the formal dining room has been transformed into a prep kitchen to finish all the new orders. Using their love of science and math, they cook up delicious desserts.
My side is really the math side. So let's say you want to know that you have to calculate the surface area for your cake or how much fondant you need to roll out.
The baking brothers aren't just making cookies and cupcakes. They're whipping up professional-looking pastries like this last-minute wedding cake.
That was a lot of trust they had.
Was that a lot of pressure on y'all?
No, not too much.
No?
All I had to do was bake like 6 cakes and make icing and go play video games.
The sweetest part of their business is not what they pull out of the oven, but what they give back to others.
People have been really kind to us with helping us bake. So we decided, well, since people have been so supportive of us, we need to support others.
The brothers are looking beyond the kitchen and helping their community. Beyond the Kitchen is actually the name of their new book. For every book sold, they're donating $1 to charity. So far, the Mushambi brothers have donated almost $2,000 in baking profits,
You're gonna get 4 of these.
which includes their book donations to various charities, from buying school supplies for underprivileged kids to prison ministries. Shane, who has a skin condition called vitiligo, which causes loss of skin color, just recently helped out Dr. Alana Bree at a children's house, a Houston nonprofit that helps kids with skin conditions feel comfortable in their own skin.
Well, it touches my heart, of course. I mean, the fact that these boys are so selfless and so willing to make the world a better place, especially for their peers and other children that are suffering, I think is just incredible.
The Mushambi brothers are saving money to upgrade their supplies, but they don't plan to cut back on their benevolent baking.
The other day, someone said that we inspired them to bake. That was good.
I was like, how did that hit you?
That was a good day.
Omar Villafranca, Missouri City, Texas.
And that's right by where you're from.
Yeah, Missouri City, Texas. That's a suburb of Houston. That is where I grew up. So how about that? Good news from the hometown right there. And we are still looking at some good weather as we go through most of your Saturday. That chance for rain won't come in until late tonight and then early on Sunday. We're watching Monday for a heavy rain threat. We are discussing whether or not making that an alert day among the weather teams. So stay tuned to see if that happens. Well, if that's a boo, here's your yay. Look at Wednesday and Thursday. Absolutely fantastic. For your pet walk, here's Molly and Wanakee.
Okay, Molly redeemed things. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 6:30.